Hello and welcome to this edition of Saturday Chat with me, Big Scott 35. I'm going to talk about the show I went to today. Um, and while I'm doing that, just show you my pickups. Uh, I like to be transparent. Got $200 out the bank. I had $30 still left from the National. I actually had $50, but I used $20 to do laundry for a couple of weeks. So I did use some money just because didn't feel like going to the bank to get $20 out. So I still need to put $20 back in. So I feel like it's just a little game I play with myself for how I spend my money. But I came back with $70. But I did a lot of box looking, and I went around and looked in all the cases, looking for Pete Alonso's and David Wrights and just anything that piqued my interest. I didn't see a Mickey Cochran. I saw a couple of Yogis and a couple of Campies, but the Campies that I saw were not graded and they weren't in the best of shape. And I'm really leery when I see those to purchase because I don't know where to start. I don't even know because I feel like they're overpriced at that point, and they're trying to get book value about the show. So I want to talk about the negatives and get those out of the way because I just want to end on positive notes. So to start off with, I did get, I'll show you all the baseball cards that I got. So you had to pull up, it was in Concord, which is, if you don't know where Concord, North Carolina is, outside of, I don't want to say it's a suburb of Charlotte, but it kind of is. It's part of a town and a lot of country from what I've seen. And I'm not from here, but it's just what I observed. Where this was at was a actual event center. And my God, it was 10 minutes left of nowhere. So I picked up this Michael. Now, that was all my baseball. So I did pick up some football. I do like to try to pick up rookies and stuff for people. I like to get quarterbacks and players. I saw this today. It's tough to find quarterbacks at a reasonable price. A lot of times already graded. And so I picked up a Penix. Now, if it's graded at a reasonable price, I'll pick it up. So I'm going to get this graded because that's the way I keep my rookies is in a box graded rookies. And he might not pan out, but I'll have him. So, yeah, and then you pull up, nice venue. I was like, oh, big parking lot. They had two things going on. They had a reptile con going on there, which because I pulled up, you had to pay to park. $10, which I thought was ludicrous. Okay, first off, it's a venue. Nowhere else to park, so you have no choice. So if you're going to go to the show, and it's credit card only or debit card, so you're kind of locked in. I thought that was ridiculous. They could do that. Because it was also $12 to get in. Nice Roger Staubach. So basically it was $22 for one day to go to that show. They did have VIP and 2-day passes. Show's not big enough for 2 days. It is almost exactly half Pokemon, half other stuff. Because I mean, a lot of they had it almost set up categorized. So almost all the straight vintage guys were in one spot, in one row, in one area, whatever. And then you had the mixtures around, and then it was just one row of wrestling, one aisle of wrestling all the way down. It had Nikolai Volkov, I believe, one of the Russian wrestlers, that were supposed to be brothers, Ivan and Nikolai. He was there, had a table selling his wares. He was at the last show I went to. This is a beautiful card, by the way. Look at that, Tony Dorsett. You're going to see like what era I really love the Cowboys, right? I don't buy too many present day Cowboys stuff. So I really like that. So it was really easy. Now I did see early on a Pete Alonso that was in a case that I didn't have, a Cosmic Nocturnal Auto, and it was not badly priced, but it would have took about half my funds, right? Even if I negotiated it down, it took about half my funds. So I wanted to walk around and be sure, and it was nothing else. So I was going to go back and purchase that. I hit up a couple of these boxes with some cheapies to go ahead and grab those. Look at this Danny White here, boy. Topps Chrome, doing the all chrome team, Danny White. I wonder if he was the punter or the quarterback on this. I didn't even look. It doesn't say. Oh, it says punter. So he was punter. So he's on the all-time team for punter, not quarterback. That's funny. If you don't know, he played both. So I didn't know it was split up like that. So I kind of buzzed through the Pokemon stuff because I was just like, man, for Star Wars, I was just scared I was going to miss something. But it really wasn't. So that was my big the paying the part. You're gonna, and I think $12 was expensive to get in for a new show, right? This guy's been doing it now for about 2 years, but this is his new big show. And for being that, I want to. It just because it's big doesn't make it good. It was a lot of fluff, not quality. A lot of, I'm sure his tables weren't expensive because it was a lot of vendors I've never seen and what they were selling at most shows. I'm not you could bring whatever you want, but why would I go up to a table after I've just looked at 10 tables that are organized and your stuff is thrown in there like you don't give a rat's tail about it? Why should I care, right? You don't take the time to set it up, and then you don't take the time. I mean, I know people like to dig in dollar boxes, but if you don't even have them separated by sport, I'm done. I'm out. I don't care about looking through every football card. I don't care about looking at any basketball. That stuff really bugs me. And, some people like to dig through it. I don't. So I did my lap, and then once I kind of figured out the lay of the land, they did have autographs. I got to see Kelly Kelly really close. I forgot my Doc Gooden cards, and I was like, I'm not buying Doc Gooden cards just to get autographs. So I saved money there. He's at every show I go to that does autographs, so it's not a big deal. I have a couple of things here that I would like to have autographed. So almost got his rookie card, the 85, known as the wallet card by some in our community. If you know, you know. And get that autographed. But it was not big. I have so much stuff of his autograph. It wasn't a big deal. He had a pretty good line. I got to give, again, I mean, I think it was like $40. Nothing. Nobody there was expensive or anything. I think Kelly Kelly was like $40. I don't even think she was $40. And so I got to give it to him. It was set up, but and I think the more he does this show, the people because some of the vendors I see in this area were not there. Some of the bigger ones. And I don't know if it's because where it was at or what, but there's not a lot of things. There's nothing around there. You can't leave. You can leave, but there's no reason to once you're there. So the food in there was reasonably priced. I got a hot dog and French fries at lunchtime. It was $11 for the meal. That's not bad. Um, there were some people, but you can't go. And it was a big hot dog. It wasn't like a little biggie dude. It was probably like a Costco quarter pounder. Um, and they gave you a healthy amount of fries and a drink for $11. I'm like, I don't know where else you're going to go to get that. I think the hamburger combo is around the same thing. You can't go get a quarter pounder somewhere, fries and a drink. It's going to be $10 most of the time. So, unless you go on some special deal, but I thought it was okay pricing. They took care of the lines. Uh, their bottle of water was like $5. I think that's nuts. They give you a bottle of water and it's like a non-brand, and it's just like, what are you doing? So I got all of these at one vendor, this stack of wrestling cards. So the Cactus Jack stuff just came out. So I got my first look at some Cactus Jack. I will never buy a box of this. It's just like over $300 a box, I think. Um, for I don't know. I like the cards, love the cards, but I don't understand the Cactus Jack thing. What? Why? Stay. Just do Topps Chrome. The Star Wars is not called like Indoor or Darth Vader. I don't know. I I don't get it. My favorite Nitro girl, Kimberly. Um, I love her scene in 40-Year Virgin, 40-Year-Old Virgin. If you never, if you know, you know. I watch wrestling for the plot, and I think the more he has it, but I think he needs a better venue with stuff around it, just to draw people in. It was a lot of people there, but I think it could be a lot more. Um, and I like if you're trying to make it a destination show, because it's probably the biggest just pure card show I've been to in Carolina, right? It's bigger than the one that they have at because everyone else has to have. I thought it was going to be toys and all that stuff. I think it was one table of toys, and that was it, the whole place. I don't know. I'm just holding this up. But I was just like, and there's space in there. It was so much space for activities. Um, and the thing was, is like I seen one stroller. I was like, one time that you can have strollers, you can have a stroller race. There's so much room in here. In the house, but one stroller. Maybe they got the memo. I really like this one. This is from Action. Let me get my cheater. This might be long because I'm babbling. I'm already 14 minutes in. Can't find my. Oh, there it is, right there. If you think my magnet, Action Packed, and this is supposed to be like a prototype. I love the Undertaker. This is old school Taker here. Love that. This is Jordan Grace, her rookie card, her first card with WWE pack pulled. I have a couple now cards. Adam Cole auto. Adam Cole, baby. I meant to get a Hangman too, and for some reason I put it back. I don't know why. I like Adam Cole, our old ROH days, and Hangman's from Virginia. So And then one of my favorite bad guys of all times, one of my favorite wrestlers, period, Kevin Owens. So, first time seeing him was ROH, Kevin Steen. Um, I'll go ahead and show this off. I've never seen these. This is 1977 General Mills. It says stickers when I show it up. Show it. It might be a sticker. He just had this one, a Han Solo, and a couple of the Luke Skywalker fixing the droids. It's from New Hope, of course, because it's 1977. When I was looking up, when I got home, there is a Stormtrooper one, so I'll definitely be purchasing that. I gotta see if this is in the realm of getting graded. I'm hoping it's in the range to get it graded. I just I don't think CGC can do this one. I think I'll have to do PSA, but I'll have to check and see. I'm not going to overpay to get it graded. But it's her in the throne room. This is, if you don't know, a scene at the end where she's waiting. They're walking down the aisle to get their medals. I have some issues with that scene being in where Jedi is supposed to be humble. But anyway, that's where the scene is. Y'all know I'm a huge Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia fan. I don't pick up everything. I like to get stuff from the New Hope and in her New Hope stuff. And I like this. And of course, I grew up at that time, so I do like her in her the slave outfit. I think they're trying to get away from that term, but the bikini, the Jabba the Hutt bikini. So I did pick that up. So this is type of thing when I'm looking for stuff, the oddball stuff that I like to get. I've never seen these before. So very happy to get that, and I'm sure they're relevant just everywhere. I'm hoping to see more of them. It's just fun to see those stuff out in the wild. The guy goes, I pulled them out of a cereal box myself, so went with them. And then the rest of these I got from a guy. You can tell he just opens up wrestling stuff, and he just has stuff. For me, that's awesome. So I can just go through and pick up the stuff I wanted. MJF, who's one of my favorite wrestlers. I think he's great on the mic. I think he's really good in the ring as well. Sorry, this is going to be mostly wrestling. I'm in down here. This is racing and wrestling country. Britt Baker. Anna J, Heroes and Heroines. This is the Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter from Full Gear. Sierra, I have a funny feeling she's going to show back up on WWE. She's dropping hints, heroes and heroines. I don't think she likes the way she was done in AEW. This is Hikaru Shida, who I really like. It's pretty badass. Dazzler. Never seen that one. I was like, damn right. And Red Velvet, who I've been following her on the indies and then AEW. Again, I'll watch it for the plot. Here's the plot. Also a great wrestler. She started very young in the indies, really worked her way up. But then again, I'm watching Carlos and the guy from Upper Deck's like, we don't do ROH people. And I'm like, she's in ROH. Like, you do ROH people. I don't understand. And the rest of these are like numbered. This is numbered to 249. So, back to the good, like, it had food there. Lines moved. So they had 3 lines when you got there: a cash line, a card line, and pre-purchase line. So all that was pretty well organized. This guy's been doing shows now for a couple of years, so he has got stuff pretty well organized. Um, I really thought this was the first time I've been to one of his shows. I think it's Southeast Cards. He mainly is in that area of Charlotte area. He does Charlotte, like Salisbury, which Salisbury is only like 30 minutes from me. This is one of Cactus Jack's. Uh, so I really, and I do like because he'll have stuff for the kids. He walks around, make sure everybody's good. He he cares about what's going on, or at least he puts on a good show of that. He's a lot better than that guy, the Tidewater guy, who just doesn't give. He gives zero Fs. But I'm trying to watch my language because there's nothing to get upset about. It's a show. I had a good time. It was a little stale in there for the vibe. Couple of TVs set up for football, so that was cool. That's why card shows this time of year, usually you don't see too many because of the weekends. You got so much football. But down here, they just keep on going, and I'm not angry about it. So I picked up some good Cactus Jack. There's a couple more I wish I could have got. I don't think I got an AJ Styles Cactus Jack. Love Alexa Bliss is back. And this is the first time I've seen this one. I know a lot of people are. Plus today, AEW is doing their All In. They moved their time to the afternoon because stupid ESPN WrestlePalooza. I don't know why they're doing that. You want to go head to head? Why are you trying to just take out your competition? That's the one thing that helps you get better. Get better. I'd rather watch AEW right now. Who wants to watch John Cena and Brock Lesnar? What is this, 2010? I don't, they keep rehashing these old mother effers, excuse me, and and they think and that's what they got to do because their newer wrestlers stink on the mic. They don't know how to do promos. They don't know how to do storylines. Their writers are not that great. The women carry it. I mean, if you watched, and that's the funny thing. So AEW does a homecoming or whatever down there. So NXT's got to do their shit. And then and Flair and Bliss come out and said women have been carrying NXT. And they have. They have. And the only time that NXT was really good for the guys was when they had Finn Balor and Sami Zayn and that group in there. When they went to London that year, the men were awesome. And the men were good that whole time. It was equal field with them and the women. And then all of a sudden, they start taking them up. And you can just see there, they don't have anybody. And then they take them up and they don't use them. They just didn't use them. Balor gets hurt when he first goes up. Then they kind of make him a mid-tier guy. And, it's a tough watch for me right now. I watch a lot of highlights on YouTube. That's where I get mine. And I haven't looked to see, but they're saying some people are saying you have to buy 2 different things to watch the wrestling today. And I'm sorry I'm talking wrestling, a lot of wrestling. Back to the show. Look at that. That's beautiful. AJ Styles. And then I forgot to put this one on, but she's actually in WWE now. So that's it. That's all the cards that I got. This is what I picked up today. Like I said, I give the show a strong B minus to C plus B minus, and mainly it's because of parking, plenty of it. Again, paying $10 and then $12 to get into the show. Um, that's ridiculous, and I know it's the venue because they had two different shows, and everybody had to pay the $10 to get in. I think that's correct. So it's $22 to get into a local show. Yes, 500 tables, but this is where I somewhat agree, and hear me out with the people that bitch about the Pokemon thing. If you're going there and you want to see sports cards and you pay $22 and half of it's Pokemon, you know it's going to be half Pokemon because they told you. But you didn't know, you thought it was going to be $12 to get in. So you're like, if you went, you know it's $12. So you know it's going to be $12. But then they add $10 for parking. Now it's $22. Now, if you have a car full of people, maybe they all chip in. I don't know. I didn't. I went by myself. So it's $22 to get in. That changes the dynamic. And I drove an hour, right, to get there. When I got off the highway and started going the back roads, I was like, where the hell am I going? So that's one thing. And then, not having the amenities around there. Yes, you provided food. You had two places to eat. You had places to sit down to eat. All that was good. But I think people would like to have an option of leaving and coming back to just get away for maybe an hour, because it was from 9 or 10 to 5. So you pay $22, you might want to be there all day. You might want to get your money's worth. I was ready to leave. Because once I knew how it was laid out and I knew where the sports cards were and where the tables were that I was most interested. Because when I got to the back part, the quality just fell off a cliff. It was kind of sad, and for people to go to a show to buy stuff, it was almost just, yes, people had to have collections and they want to sell them. Sometimes that's a good way, but to have a whole section of tables where most of the tables are like quarter boxes with 1980s and 90s base cards or 70s just stuff, or it's just all thrown together. There was literally a table they probably had 4 tables, 4 guys, and they had everything top loaded, and every top loader was yellow. And these 25, 30, or this size box right here I got right here, the 3200 box that you probably can't see. Every top loader was yellow. And they were just back there, and stuff was just all thrown in the box. Wasn't no organization. So I commend the people. I tend to spend money at the tables to the guys that take the time to organize it to at least teams, and then put stickers, some type of something to let me know, okay, yes, we're going to work out something at the end. But let me know what we're doing. Now, there is the family that I go to. They don't label their stuff, but gee, I don't care. They give me such great deals, and they give great deals to everyone. It's not just me. They weren't there this weekend. I was looking for them. They were not there. A little disappointed in that. So there was one table where I couldn't get anybody to help me. I don't even know whose table it was. There was 2 empty chairs. There was boxes that people were going in. I don't even know who was running it. It's a very amateurish group that's in there selling. And they'll learn. And they'll learn if they're going to keep going. So that's what I'm saying. I'm sure the table cost is not that much. So they have to charge at the door to make up for it. And then the venue probably doesn't charge a lot for their venue because where it's at. Uh, they do have a cover band for Journey and a opening up by a cover band for Led Zeppelin coming up in October. I'll see you flyers for that. I was like, oh, Led Zeppelin, that's pretty cool. The group was named Kashmir. So I thought that was pretty cool. But, I feel like there's a lot to build on this, and if the building blocks are there, like I said, a lot of pluses, a lot more pluses than negatives. That's why I want to start with the negatives, get those out of the way, because the pluses, a lot of room. You knew what you were walking into. Food, uh, you know, just and how to get in. You weren't waiting in line to get in. And bravo to all of those. And, it was stuff there. Like I said, I got some things. Uh, Baseball wasn't that great there. They had some vintage. Like one guy had a collection. It was his collection. He collected Mickey Mantle and Bobby Richardson, and that was all that was on the table. Uh, cool stuff. I don't know, and it was let's see, Cardboard HQ was there. Pristine was actually doing on-site auctions live. PSA had a representative there. One of their shops was there. I don't know who it was. It wasn't PSA themselves. Somebody representing PSA was doing PSA there. So it was a lot. I think they had JSA was in back. Somebody was at the autographs doing giving you your little sticker, putting it in the system if you wanted to do that. And I think it was JSA. I don't know. I can't remember. Might have been PSA. I don't know. I can't remember. I was just walking around, and it wasn't a lot of people selling like memorabilia stuff and things. It seems to be a big thing at the shows. It was a little bit of that, but not taking up. Chantilly, last time I went, it felt like half the show was that, selling memorabilia or large picture items, things that won't cards. But yeah, good show. I can see where the future's going. I think they got to get a little bit. The small show I went to here in Winston with Powell, a lot better quality. Half the probably a third of the tables, and better quality. So there you have it. I think it was a good weekend. Like I said, a lot of room for improvement. But man, it was the stuff there for people. It was very family oriented, and I appreciate that. And it was, the parking. I think nowhere did I see any ads for that. I don't know why I keep harping on it. It was just $10, but it was $10. You weren't expecting it, and like I said, that made it $22 to get in. So that's all I got today. A lot of wrestling. Past week, did sales again. Had an okay week. I should break my 100 cards, that my low limit that I like to set for myself, and getting them posted as fast as I can. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time. One thing I do, like anybody that sells for fun, this is my one like bit of like wellness for you. Like I Ty called me last night and we talked for a while. He's at the Philly show. My friends are at Philly this week. Really wish I was up there, but um, so I just remember it's a hobby. Even if you're selling for extra income, my gosh, don't spend all your time like on that. Unless it's a big part of you gotta have it. But if you're just doing it to make a little bit so you can buy a little bit, man, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there. I don't spend any more than an hour a day listing cards when I get home. And then that leaves me to do whatever else. And it might be card related after that, but it's not, because I feel like listing cards is then it becomes a job. And I'm only making not even $100 a month. So I'm not going to, I'm way more worth more than that. So that's my little bit. Make sure you make time for yourself, your family, other hobbies, uh, or, having liking your cards. Now, if you're just sitting there, now I might, when I'm sitting here watching a ball game, I might sit here and just list cards while I'm watching a ball game just to be doing something. Um, but I only dedicate an hour for cards. So, and, or for doing that. And once I started doing that, I sleep better, stress levels are down, because I was like, oh, I got to get this stuff out. Man, it's going to be there tomorrow. It's my hobby. It's not my job. So I, you know, I know a lot of people are successful in their life and jobs. They're very goal oriented. So that's my goal for y'all. Just if it's only 15 minutes, 30 minutes a day, or it's every other day or once a week, just make time. Make sure you're making time for enjoy the hobby. If you enjoy the hobby, listen, go for it. But that's my one little tidbit for you. So until next time, tomorrow night, like, share, tell a friend, and I will see ya.